This video will be a really quick overview of the entire carousel system. For more detailed information, you need to go to our website. To get to our website, go to carouselsw.com. Once you get there, you can either go to what I call the propaganda part of the website by clicking on the Here button to the left, and that takes you to a web page which contains, quite honestly, a lot of propaganda. Contains our brochure, which is several documents, and it contains a pointer to this video. To get to the individual detailed videos, you need to go back to the main page and then click on the client side to the right, and that gets you to a whole list of videos, some of which exist, that will give you more information than you'll ever want to know. If you'd rather read this stuff, above the list of videos, there is a whole bunch of links to actual printed documents. So, how do we get started with this? The first thing you have to do is locate the Carousel software icon on your desktop. When you click that, you get a screen looking like this. This has a list of all the individual functions that are commonly used with the carousel system. There's a way to do your inventory, a way to do your deal, a way to give you a quick bottom line number of how much the car will cost, a way to do BuyHere Pay Here, and then some administrative functions. All of these functions are described in individual videos, and in some cases several videos, which you can find on our website. You'll notice that there's two layers of this. There's a bottom layer that says salesman and a top layer that doesn't. The bottom layer does not show any confidential information. The top layer gives you access to everything that the system has. Here in the middle, there's a way to look at all the documentation. Everything that's in the original printed manual can be found here. You just simply find what you want to look at, click it, click the user guide button, and the document pops up. So let's get started, assuming you're going to put a new car into inventory and sell it. First thing you have to do is go into the inventory program. When you're first starting out, you have to figure out what your stock numbers are going to look like. Could be the last 6 digits of the VIN, could be a sequential number. Could be alphanumeric. Could be anything that's 10 characters or less and unique in the system. In this case, let's assume we are sequential numeric. So the highest stock number in the system is 7032. So let's add 7033. You can see that there are little flyout boxes that make entering the data a little easier. So let's assume we're going to go with a Dodge, and we're going to select a charger. 2 characters and a tab key. Everything ends in a tab key. It's a 4-door. Its color is red. There's no second color. It's a 2012. Notice I only put in the last 2 digits, but you can put in all 4. And so we're going to put in a VIN. I'm just putting in a random set of numbers at the moment. When I hit tab, you'll get a bunch of warnings if the VIN's not correct. So it first says it's not 17 characters. It will also check the year against the proper digit in the VIN. It checks the make of the car against the proper digit in the VIN. And it checks that the check digit matches all the rest of the digits in the VIN. In Washington, you should really put in a weight. The plate state will default to the state of the dealership. We don't really have to put in the plate number anymore because both Washington and Idaho grab the plates. And we should put in the miles and the date purchased. I'm going to presume that it was purchased sometime a month ago or more. And you might select the vehicle type that's needed in Washington for trade-in information. At this point, you could print the buyer's guide because you have enough information for that. We're now going to go to the second tab, tab 2, or car costs. It's the same thing. We're going to put in a suggested retail price of $5,000. We're going to put in the actual purchase price. Let's call it $2,000. The pack defaults. That default can change, or you can override the pack at this point. So you can see the total cost thus far is the price of the car plus the pack. For reconditioning, you click this little button. Let's say we need to detail the car, and it's going to be done by Alan's Detailing, and that's going to be $125. And I'm going to click the update button. You can see that there's room here for an infinite amount of detailing, and all these numbers will be added up and roll over to this gray area. So now the total cost is $26.25. There's a video on each one of these tabs. So if you want to learn more, go to those videos. Who did we purchase it from? Let's assume it was the dealer's auto auction. And I'm going to save this away. So that's all it takes to stock a car into inventory. The hardest part is putting the VIN in correctly. Now that the car is stocked in, we need to sell it. So we're going to click the deal program. We're going to go and find that car in the drop-down box, 7033. We're going to add a customer. First thing we have to do is either find an old customer, which you can find by putting in just a few letters of the last name. But generally it's a brand new customer, so you're going to enter a new name. So let's just say the last name of this customer is Rogers. First name is Aaron. And we're selling to that person. If we were selling it to a company, you would check this box. In Washington, it matters for tax purposes, whether it's a retail deal, a wholesale deal, or an auction. Let's assume it's a retail deal. We need to know their address, and the city, and the state, and the zip. You can see the stuff we've entered has asterisks here. That's required information. The rest of it's optional. Mostly you want the home telephone number. And nowadays, people really seem to be carrying cell phones around a lot, so you should enter that. And a lot of paperwork wants to know a birth date and their driver's license. If there's a spouse, you can enter the spouse information here. The spouse will be on the title. If there is a co-buyer, there's another tab in here where you can enter the co-buyer information, and the co-buyer will be on the title. Click the update button. Now we're in the deal program. I'm going to get rid of some of the excess information. This is what the salesman version of the program would look like. We know we want to sell the car for $5,000. The person wants to negotiate, so he's only going to offer $4,500. He's not going to offer any cash down. The doc fee in the state of Washington maxes out at $150. This little box is for the membership fees for credit unions, but in Washington it's illegal to bill the customer for that. The license fees, you can click this button for Washington, and I can indicate that it is an in-state car, that it's a 6,000 or 5,000 pound car, so I'll save this data away. So that gives us a license fee of $147.75 plus $6.50 EMS fee, which, as I understand it, is there to clean up the dead bodies off the freeway. If you're selling additional items, you can put it in here, but that's rare. If you're selling a warranty, or really officially known as a service contract, you can put that information in here. We'll skip that. If you're selling a gap, you can put that information in here. So the non-taxable subtotal is this number plus that number for $304.25. The taxable subtotal is $4,500. In the city of Spokane at the moment, the tax rate is 9.1%, giving you $409.50 in taxes for a grand total of $5,213.75. If you had put in a service contract, that is separately taxed at a lower rate of 8.9%, and I would figure that into this figure. If you're going to finance it, let's say there's a finance rate of 15%, and you're going to do this for 12 months, and you're going to pick a finance company. Let's say it's going to be self-finance monthly, and that says that there's going to be a monthly payment of $470.81, and I'm going to update that, which will finally write it to the database. The rest of the information is as much as we can do on a line-by-line basis: the dealer cost and the dealer profit. The total profit for this deal shows up here. This is the sales profit, or the profit on the sales. This is the profit on the financing. That would be for the warranty, the collision, and in this case, for the bank interest. In this case, it's a BuyHere Pay Here thing, so the dealership collects all of the interest of $435.95, assuming that the payments are made correctly and on time. Then you have to go and print the forms. To print a form, you simply select a form, click the print button, select the printer, click the OK button, and the form prints out. So in this case, we printed out a purchase order. This is the Carousel provided purchase order. You can see here that it's got all the information and a place for signatures, and there's a bunch of lawyer stuff following it. This screen tries to tell you all the forms that you would need for the deal. If the form doesn't show up, you can go to this screen, which has all the forms that are set up for your dealership. This is showing all the forms that there exist, not the ones you would see in any particular dealership. Finally, when we are finished with the deal, we go to the complete screen. If you have salesmen, you can give them their commissions. So the total profit is $2,310. The total commissions is $577.74. Gives you a net profit of $1,733. I'm going to put the official date of sale back a little bit to the 30th. Here's the sold odometer reading. And if you had a temp or 3-day license, you can put the license number in there. I'm going to update the records and sell the car. There's some other tabs here. There are videos that explains every step of this process, including these other tabs. You can find those videos on our website. If this was a BuyHere Pay Here deal, you would want to go into the self-finance program. You would want to create a new loan. Here we can see our car that we just sold, and here are the characteristics of that deal. I'm going to create the loan. Then I'm going to go to this screen. Here is a schedule of payments for that loan, presuming $470.81 each payment. And this is where you would enter the actual payments. So I said that this car was sold on September 30th. First payment isn't due till October 29th, but maybe the guy went to the casino last night and came in a little early. So he's coming in and he's going to pay us $500. And we're going to submit that. So here you can see his payment. This is the amount of the payment that goes to the principal. This is the amount of interest that has been generated since the date of sale. This is what the balance remaining is, and this is the accumulated principal. You can print a receipt. You can print a coupon book. Coupon book probably doesn't do any good because everyone will ignore it, but at least you can print it out. You'll also see that there's some reports available, and if you need to find anybody, you can find them by either their name, or you can find them by the stock number. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the admin program. One of the important things about this front page, the About page, is the drop dead keys. The way our system works is we don't have any of your data. It's all totally located on your computer. So at the end of the month, we'd kind of like to get paid. So you will go and run a report. I'm going to click the Reports tab. Carousel software bill for September. Display the report. There was one car sold. The charge for the first 5 cars are $10 each. There was only one car sold. But the minimum payment we have is $25. So the charge for the month is $25. That's taxable at 8.9%. So there would be taxes of $2.23 for a total of $27.23. And write a check and send it here to Carousel Software at Elder Road. We will send you a magic number or a drop dead key. You put that magic number into this location and click the submit button. If you are trying to use the program beyond the date below the drop dead key, the program won't work. It's our only way to protect ourselves that we actually get paid for this stuff. We usually give you a magic number that's several months out, 3 to 4 months out. So if every month you send a check, every month we will send you a magic number, it'll ping pong back and forth, and everybody's happy. If for some reason you don't send a check for 2 or 3 months, the system will time out, it doesn't work, you'll have to phone us up, we'll have to arrange for some sort of payment. This admin screen has a number of functions. The most important function from your point of view is the reports. There's about 100 and some odd different reports. I'm not going to go through all of them. If you want to know more about those reports, you can go and look at the admin reports guide. That's a document. There may be a video on this someday. There are some utility programs. If you use QuickBooks, we can generate data for QuickBooks. If for some reason, although it's rare that you have to unwind a deal, you can click this button and unwind the deal. And if you stock in a car and you give it the wrong number, you can change the stock number. If you're working with consignments and the car didn't sell, you can put in the stock number in here and click the consignment give back, and that will take the car out of inventory. Here are all the defaults for the system. As of today, the car sales tax is 8.8% in the county of Spokane, plus a 0.3% add-on from the state. If you were selling bubble gum or something, the charge is 8.9%. I have something listed as out of state. That happens to be the tax rate for Idaho, which is our nearest state. There are B&O tax rates. There's the default dock fee. There's the trauma fee. There's the default license fee. This all has to do with the hard copy printer. Here's where you would enter your passwords for the salesman program. Here's the default for the pack, or you can enter a percentage. Nobody's ever done that. Here's the defaults for the commissions, and this has to do with some other stuff. There's a bunch of tables that you can be played with. The one you would want to do the most is the salesman. When you hire a new salesman, you want to enter that person into the system by putting in their name, clicking the edit and update buttons. You cannot delete one, but the active status says whether the salesman is active. If he's gone away, he's fired, he quit, whatever, just didn't show up for work, put in a 0 in here and he won't show up. But I need him to stay with the system. I can't delete him from the system because it'll mess up some of the database. If you get a new warranty, you can put in the information about the warranty in this location. Finance companies, you can enter information about finance companies here. As an example, here's the Global Credit Union, its address, Spokane, Washington, telephone numbers, payments, form pointers. There's videos on all this, or there will be, so I'm not going to go in and describe it much more than that. That's pretty much a really, really quick tour of the Carousel system. As I've said before, there are, or will be, videos on every single one of these functions, including the functions I didn't even talk about. There are, in existence, written documentation on every one of these functions. And of course, we are available 7 days a week for you to call. Most of your issues we can answer over the phone. A few of them we have to dial in with. To dial in, we have this neat little program that we bought called Teamviewer. You click this button and you get this little screen popping up. It has an ID and a password. If we need to dial in, we will ask you for that ID and that password, and that lets us take over and use your screen from our remote location. The ID will stay the same for every computer, but the password will change every time. So that way we can't just sneak in the middle of the night and steal all of your data. So if you want to know more, you can look at what videos we have. You can look at the documentation that's on our website. And of course, you can always call us and we'll be happy to talk to you.